Was it the Coca-Cola fizz from a positive earnings report that has sparked this markets, David? It's either that or J.P. Morgan or perhaps Intel from after the bell yesterday. And now we're waiting on IBM and eBay coming out moments after the bell. We will get that to people the second those numbers are out. And, of course, our Fox Business panel before then is ready to talk about it, David.
They are indeed. Just imagine if those two stocks break out above the estimates.
I know.
Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But, again, the question is whether it's about specific stocks or whether maybe the market's ready to burst through some of those trading barriers that it's encountered so many times in the past. Let's throw it to our panel. Jordan, first to you. We had heard Teddy suggest that maybe part of the reason is the market feels boxed in by some of these layers that it can't seem to bounce ahead of, and it's close to doing that right now.
There's no question we've been locked in a trading range for some time, and we've seen a lot of rallies over the last year that unfortunately have aborted. But more and more good news. The most important thing is not only that it's good news, but that the reactions are favorable like we're seeing today. We're in this multi-week period earnings-wise now, and that'll kind of be the microcosm. And if we can get some more results like we see that are matching today, we get a little less anxiety like we saw last week with GE, more confidence, we'll see more money flow into the markets, and it'll bolster the action. Maybe we can take out the upper end of that trading range.
Gary Kaminsky, you guys at Neuberger Berman are famous for being very careful about the investments you make. You've been very successful in not jumping on the latest and greatest trends. But what did you see today with the markets, as I ask you to kind of narrow your time horizon, just looking at a day like today, that makes you feel a little bit better about the next couple of months?
Liz, I think Gary's been taken out of the mix. Go ahead.
Peter. Try that.
He looks like Gary. He looks like Gary.
I didn't even listen to the question, but I know what I was going to talk about.
You're going to say the same thing anyway, regardless.
Let him say it, for goodness sakes. Go ahead,
Someone's
Peter.
got to introduce some reality into the rally. You know, Mike mentioned it's just the euro. The Canadian dollar's up more than 2% today.
Ballooning.
That wipes out our entire rally. I mean, look what's happening in the gold stocks.
How does it wipe out the entire rally?
Because the Dow
What kind of calculus do you use?
Mike, it's the Dow.
Mike, Dow's in dollars. It's denominated in dollars.
The Dow is measured in dollars. It's not 12,000 potato chips. It's dollars. And if the dollar's losing value, you can't separate that from stocks. And if you price the Dow in Canadian dollars, it's not even up today. It's down.
Companies are growing profits faster than a decline in the currency.
No, they're not.
Hold on. Let him
Look,
speak.
that's why wealth is increasing. That's why corporations still have a lot of money. That's why household net worth in this country continues to rise. You have to understand that. And also, let me just say,
household net worth
the dollar depreciation has been a benefit to many companies.
No, it hasn't.
Peter, here you go again. That is opinion. It is not fact.
No, it's
the
fact.
fact is that these companies, many of these companies that we heard report earnings today, talked about their global exposure and the way that has been a benefit to them in that it has boosted their bottom line. They're earning more as a result of this
Mike,
whole
let Liz get a
global
word in edgewise. Go ahead, Liz.
2 words, Coca and Cola. Okay? I mean, didn't they have positive numbers because of a weaker dollar that their businesses are doing better?
Sure, if the
overseas?
dollar loses 90% of its value, sure, a lot of companies are going to earn more dollars. But big deal. The bottom line is, what is the purchasing power that those earnings allow you to deliver to your shareholders? And if the
most of
dollar is losing
economy is
value,
not an export economy.
Hold on. Let Euron get in. We haven't heard from him. Go ahead, Euron.
You know, most of our economy is not an export economy. Most of our economy is dealing here with one another. And clearly, there's some real issues, and we need to look at these fundamentals. One day, how many times over the last 6 months has the market gone up 200 or more points? We have to be really cautious about projecting now from this one movement to a bull market. It might. I hope it is. I hope this is the movement Mike's been calling for months.
Okay.
I hope he's finally right.
I think we're somewhere in between. I agree with a lot of points being made here. But the dollar, will hopefully not fall into perpetuity. These are cyclical type moves, and at some point the dollar's got to get some traction here. So what you're seeing, and this is what Liz pointed out before, out of these multinationals like Coca-Cola, is they're being cushioned, they're benefiting from the fact that they do have revenues overseas, and we can make it through as long as the dollar does get some traction here. And the fact is, we're having a good day. Let's enjoy it a little bit. We're seeing some good results. Let's get some of the bad out of the way.
What a concept,
it was a little broader today. Let's at least enjoy some of this advance.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, I think that's true. It's when you get handed a gift like this on a day like this, but that, I'm just wondering, Mike, if I could play sort of to Peter's side, Is that a trick for the average investor, not the trader, not the sophisticate like you guys, but the average person out there who's thinking, well, maybe I could dip my toe in here at this point?
What do you mean? Is that a trick? What a trick for?
Or is there worse to come?
You know, Liz, today Bloomberg came out with a survey. They polled most of their major clients in 5 continents. It showed improving sentiment. I have to say, looking at something like that and also looking at the behavior of the markets, when you see, for example, earnings that are not up to snuff, but yet the market still trades higher, I think we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And Liz, if you're saying it's time to dip your toe in, I think you're absolutely right. I think this whole thing is going to be resolved to the upside very soon. If you're investing,
and one thing we should mention, by the way, this is a broad rally, very broad, not only in terms of the within individual indexes, but all the indices. And Peter, the Russell 2000, the small and mid-size cap, this isn't just a flight to quality. That's up the greatest of all the indices, over 3% today.
Well, as I pointed out, the gold stocks are up over 5% today. How can this be a real bull market if the best performing sector is gold? I mean, this, yes, which stocks are doing?
You can have a bubble and real increases at the same time.
Hey, railroad stocks, very economically sensitive, up 5-6%.
Final word to Jordan. Go ahead, Jordan.
I think the point is we've got a broad advance here, broad participation. That's healthy for the overall market.
Last word to Jordan. Thank you, guys. Well, the market feels very happy about what happened today on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That is up 245 points. And as I mentioned, that is the smallest increase of all of the indices. So, Liz, the trading day has come to a close, but the business day continues. And